Hello and welcome to Dad and Swebb Talk Sports. I'm Swebb.
And I'm Dad.
And we are the dad and daughter duo talking about all of our favorite sports moments from the week. Dad, what's up?
Not much. You look pretty snazzy.
I am wearing my jacket one last time before I put it away for a few months. It's been a glorious 2.5 weeks.
It's been unbelievable. Wait, you've been wearing that a lot since the Olympics?
I purchased this for the purpose of the Winter Olympics. We also have the World Cup coming in the summer. It's the country's 250th birthday. I know I'll be able to wear it on Memorial Day weekend, July 4th. Yes, this has gotten some use, mainly sitting on the couch, but I figured I'd wear it one last time for America.
Looks good, Swebb.
It feels good, to be honest. It's a little bittersweet. I felt on Sunday like I do on Christmas Day. I'm so excited for all of the pomp and circumstance, and then on Christmas Day I get a little sad because the next day it's over. And that was me on Sunday watching the gold medal game between US and Canada.
Yeah, that's one of the best things we do in this country. Maybe the best thing we do in this country. It brings everybody together. It was unbelievable. The team winning, the way they won, the backstories of a lot of the players, watching people throughout the country, college campuses, restaurants, bars, wherever, celebrating, people in their homes celebrating. It was unbelievable. And nobody cared about anything else. It was just one goal, everybody wins.
Hockey players are a different breed because
Yeah.
I'm watching Jack Hughes, who scored the golden goal, the game-winning goal. He's missing a tooth, another one's chipped, his mouth is all bloody, and I'm thinking, the cameras are in your face, this is the biggest goal of your life, and you got 1.5 teeth missing.
When they got off at the airport in Miami today, they had a little press conference. A few of the players spoke, and somebody asked him, "Well, how did you stay in there losing a tooth?" He says, "You guys don't understand. We're kind of different. This is like not a big deal to us. You get a tooth knocked out, you get teeth knocked out, you get a stick to the face, and you got to go inside to the locker room, get 20 stitches. We're not like you people. We're different." He didn't say it that way. He said it more respectfully.
Of course.
But he really wanted to say,
You guys are
"Hey,
soft.
you guys are soft. You're not like us."
And listen, it's not just that I'm soft. I'm vain. I'm thinking my mug is going to be all over everywhere. The TV, every social media, everything. And I'm missing a tooth, and I would be skating with my hair completely done up
And he kept
and
smiling.
makeup on, and he was, and in his interviews, because he was missing his tooth, had a lisp because you're not used to speaking with your tooth missing. But it was incredible. I think I'm gonna name my first son Jack, and when he loses his first tooth, I'll recreate the photo.
Sounds good, Swebb. I'm all for that.
But all in all, because it ended on such a high, with the U.S. obviously beating Canada in hockey, the first time in 46 years that the U.S. had won the gold in hockey. They had lost the Four Nations Cup that they did last year, the NHL, during the NHL All-Star break. They had a tournament between U.S., Canada, and two European teams. They had lost to Canada in that gold medal game. So this was incredible. And then you think about the fact that the U.S. women's hockey team, they beat Canada in overtime on a sick goal. You think about the U.S. women's figure skating. She was down after the short skate. I think she was in third or fourth after the short skate, came back. Alyssa Liu had the skate of her life, the free skate of her life, ended up winning the gold. So the marquee sports.
Yeah, but didn't she quit the sport a few years ago?
Well, she was the U.S. champion at 13. Went to the Olympics 4 years ago when she was, I think, 16. Got burnt out, quit, and then came back. And now she is an Olympic gold medalist at 20 years old. There's so many different stories. I'm thinking about like we started 2 weeks ago where I was watching the team figure skating competition on the edge of my seat. I was devastated when the U.S. got beat out by the French team in ice dancing. Michaela Schifrin coming back and scoring a goal, or winning the gold after having a disappointing few other events leading up to that final event that she had, after having a disappointing Olympic Games 4 years ago, just a year or two after her father had passed. I mean, the stories, they were just so... Quad God. I was talking about Quad God 2 weeks ago. He bottled the men's figure skating. There were just so many highs and lows. I just love the Olympics, and I just don't know what to do with myself because it's 882 days until LA 28.
Well, you got baseball season getting started now. Got exhibition baseball. You got basketball going to be moving into the playoffs. You got another few weeks of college basketball. Then they're going to be getting into the March Madness.
The thing is, I'm being dramatic because, yes, I know. I have March Madness coming up next month. The Yankees and baseball is going to be starting in a few weeks. You've got the Knicks gearing up for hopefully what is a long playoff push. The Rangers are out of it, but I'll probably try and go to a hockey game because I'm so juiced up. I'm going curling in a week. I'm going to a curling place because, I got to try that out after watching them on the edge of my seat.
They have curling in New York?
They do. They have a place in Brooklyn. I'm going in 2 weeks. I'll report back. I know that I have... Here's the thing. When you're from New York, when you went to a big college school, when your dad's a diehard sports fan and you just... you like every sport, I know I'll be fine. But there's a little part of me missing today. One day after the Olympics ended, there's a little part of me missing.
You got to get us some film on you curling. And if you're good at it, that's a sport that you could possibly try out for the Olympic team in 4 years.
That's probably the only one that I have a shot of competing in. I'll probably wear this jacket just for fun, So maybe someone thinks that I'm on the Olympic team. Maybe, until they see me actually curl for the first time.
If you practice, hey.
So
it's all about practice. So you got to put in the work.
This is true. So the U.S. ends the games with 33 medals, just in second after Norway. Norway wins pretty much everything in cross-country skiing. One of the guys from Norway had 6 gold medals himself. And then they had 12 gold medals for the first time. This is the highest gold medal total that they've ever had. And there were some athletes that were returning medalists and favorites in certain events that didn't actually end up winning the gold. So all in all, an incredible... I was watching everything. Curling, aerial jumping, bobsledding, luge, ice dancing.
Bobsled was good.
The Germans, I think, won that.
They've always been good at that.
The speed skating, we had Jordan Stolz won 2 golds and 1 silver in speed skating. There's just so much action, and it's just so incredible. And it ended so great yesterday with the U.S. beating Canada in overtime. Thank God it was a short overtime because, my heart couldn't take it. Canada looked like they had that game pretty much. It was theirs to lose because they had just controlled the puck most of the game. The ice looked like it was tilted down towards the U.S. goal, but the U.S. goalie was a legend.
Incredible.
He had 42 saves.
He was incredible. He was the star of the game.
Especially when Canada went on the power play late in the third period of that game. So there were just so many... I'm a
And the
little
U.S.
sad.
didn't give up one power play goal in the whole tournament.
And guess who was on the power play kill?
Who?
Two Rangers, JT Miller and Vinny Trocheck. So they ended up being able to show their worth because a lot of people said that they didn't agree with him making the team. But I was listening to a few podcasts this morning. Bill Guerin put together a great team, who's the head of USA Hockey, put together a great team. Everyone played their part, and that's what you could tell from all the interviews. They just loved hanging out with each other. There was a brotherhood there of
Yep.
like, yes, I'm an NHL superstar. I'm a superstar on my team, but I'm happy to play any role on this team.
That's what it's all. That's how you win championships. And when we get to the Knicks, we'll talk about that. That's the mentality you have to win championships.
So what's
You got
the
to leave your
saying?
ego at the door and come in and do whatever it takes. If your tooth gets knocked out, your tooth gets knocked out. You see NBA players, they get their finger jammed and they're crying on the sideline. No, you stay in there and play.
Listen, if my tooth got knocked out, I'd be devastated because you see this smile? This is one of my best features.
That's why you're not NBA players.
I was
You don't have to worry about it.
livid when we had to wear masks in 2020 covering up this grin. So, what's the saying? Don't cry because it's over. Be happy because it happened. Something like that. That's what I'm trying to live by. That's what I've been telling myself all day as I'm sitting at home. No Olympic coverage on in the background.
Why are you sitting at home today, Swebb? It's Monday.
Well, it's last time I checked, there were 14 or 15 inches on my patio of snow. I think some of it is actually melting. I've looked out the window. I think at some point we had about 20 inches in Central Park, 20 inches of snow. Long Island, I think, had 25 plus.
No, they had about 30.
The forecast, sometimes these weathermen, they're not always right. And you go, yeah, okay. And I looked out last night, and for a while it wasn't sticking while I was watching the closing ceremonies. And by the time I went to bed at 11, I was like, okay. They were like big, fluffy snowflakes. And I ended up with about 15. And I went outside with some knee-high boots on with a measuring tape. And I checked to see how tall, because I have a layer of snow on my patio on the ledge. I never have that. That's how fluffy the snowflakes were, that it just like stuck and just kept building up. So, yeah, I'm at home today, and unfortunately, I'm snowed in with no Olympic coverage to have on in the background. The TV has been off.
Well, you got Carolina at 7 o'clock.
We've got Carolina at 7 o'clock. Hopefully some of this snow melts. It looks like a lot of it has melted because it was so fluffy. And it's actually not that cold outside. But it's supposed to snow again on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see, Swebb. We'll see.
Don't you miss it?
No. Not at all.
It was an actual blizzard. It is nice to not have to go outside. Like, luckily I have groceries. I wasn't really trying to go outside. I don't even have clothes to be like hanging out outside in the blizzard. But yeah, it's very snowy here, and it's supposed to be a very snowy week.
Yeah, it's supposed to snow later in the week.
Yes. So,
Eh, boy. I hope they get it cleared off in time for baseball season in opening day in about 4 weeks.
yeah, next week is March, and it seems a little ridiculous to think that it could still be snowing into the month of March. So we finally got that winter. It had been a mild winter the past couple of years. We finally got winter this year in the Northeast. So let's talk about some other sports. I'm still coming to terms with the Olympics being over. You're going to have to guide me through a lot of the action over the past couple weeks because my TV has been firmly on all Olympic coverage. So
That's why you got to get yourself 2-3 more TVs, Swebb, so you can watch a few things at the same time.
Listen, I was watching a few things, but it was curling and it was speed skating at the same time. Okay.
What do you want to talk about? The Knicks?
Let's start with the Knicks. The Knicks are on a 2-game win streak.
Yeah, but the game they needed to win was against Detroit on, what was that, Friday night?
Yes.
And they got run out of their own building. This is the third loss to Detroit this year. The first two were at Detroit. They lost by about 30 each time. Then they come home. They had their entire team was healthy and playing, and they lost by, 18, 20 points?
And
And they're
Detroit
not
was
just,
missing a few guys because they were
Detroit was
suspended.
missing their two big men because they were suspended for the brawl they had a few weeks ago. The Knicks don't match up well with them. They're outsized at every position.
Well, we talked about
Every
this
position.
earlier.
And I'll tell you another team they don't match up good with. Houston. But they're in the West. So I don't think Houston's going to make it through there. And then they have a hard time matching up with San Antonio. These teams that are big, they have big guards, big wing players. When I say big, I'm talking about 6'5", 6'6" point guards. Like Detroit has a 6'7" point guard. And then they put big guys on Brunson, cut him down. Now he has to give up the ball to somebody else, and they don't know how to run. They can't run the offense as well.
Well, there are a few things here because I said this, I think, yesterday or the day before, at some point this past weekend. The Knicks got run out of the building against Cleveland and Boston last year. And they ended up beating Boston in the playoffs. So it's not all lost. They do not look good against Detroit. Detroit also has, not only are their guards tall, but they're very good defensively. And they put a lot of pressure on Brunson, forcing other guys to have to step in and be playmakers, which is not everyone's strong suit. I think Alvarado, he's been a huge addition for them, especially with Juice McBride out with the injury, to be able to run the offense confidently. But
Plus his defense in that Houston game, when they came back from 18 down, he had 5 steals in that game. He turned that whole game around.
And they eked out this win on Sunday against Chicago.
Right.
So, and that looked like they were about to give that away because they were up, and then it got close. And then Chicago took a lead late in the fourth quarter. This is the name of the game. It's all about your roster, right? And some teams you're not going to match up well against. I did see a little clip of Jalen Brunson telling Karl Anthony Towns to post up. Get your big behind down on the lower block.
He screamed at him, "Go post up." And he didn't just say it like that. He cursed at him and said, "Go post up." Okay? You're 7 feet tall. What are you standing out by the 3-point line for? Go post up. And after that game, on ESPN, he was interviewed, Towns, and Shaq and Barkley took him to the woodshed and told him, "You don't play the game right. That's not how you..." And he's thinking in his mind, wait a second, I'm the highest paid guy on the team. I make $50-something million, and I'm
averaging
the All-Star
20
team.
and 10.
I'm averaging 20-something points a game. And what do you want from me? And they're trying to explain to him the way you win championships. Now, here's 2 Hall of Fame players. And Barkley said it straight out. He doesn't know how to play basketball. And I'll tell you why he doesn't know how to play basketball. And it goes for a lot of these guys in the NBA. They go and they play AAU. I'm talking about the American players. The European players know how to play.
Yes, they're fundamentally sound.
The guys that come over from Africa, they know how to play. The guys that come from Canada, they know how to play. It's the American players because they play AAU and they get spoiled. They do whatever they want to do. They're usually the best guy on the team. We went to enough AAU tournaments when your brother was playing. And they shoot and they do this, they do that. When in between games, they go over to the coach. The coach gives them money to buy stuff, and they just do whatever they want to do. Then they get then they have every college coach in the country promising them the world to come to this school. Then they pick a school, they go to the school, and they know they're only going to be there for 1 year, then they're going to go to the NBA, and they don't get coached properly. The coach is afraid to talk to them harshly, the way you need to talk to a guy when you're coaching somebody, okay? And now it's even worse because of the NIL money and the transfer portal, so the coaches are afraid to look at these guys cross-eyed, So they don't get coached properly. They go off to the NBA based on potential because they're bigger, stronger, they jump higher, this, that, and this, and they don't know how to play the game. And if they do have some success and they score some points, you're not talking to me. You're not telling me that. Now, the European players don't act like that. The guys that come over from Africa don't act like that. It's these American players that are spoiled throughout the system, and they don't appreciate what they have.
You're not wrong. There's and it's been like this for generations.
And then when you have a bunch of guys like that on your team, your NBA team, and you look at, we got all this talent. Why can't we win a championship? This is why you can't win a championship.
Right.
Because you have stooges like this that don't want to play team basketball and have respect for the coach and do what the coaches tell them.
In their head, they're thinking that they've made it. I don't know what it's like
Right.
to make $40-50 million a year. In their head, they feel like they've made it because they can buy anything and take care of their families and all of these things. But yeah, the perspective is certainly a little bit off kilter. The one
And you
thing,
can get away with that when you play on some team in the Midwest or some team outside of New York, Boston, or Philadelphia. You can get away with that. But when you play for, or maybe the Lakers now because they have such a history of winning. But when you play in New York City, it's about winning.
well, it should be
And if
about
you don't
winning
win, you're
anywhere.
going to get. I know, but these guys don't. Yeah, but they can get away with that when they're playing in Minnesota because they put up good numbers and they smile and they're nice to the people,
Yeah, but
give a
it's
few
like,
autographs. They get away with that.
Who wants to
You don't
play
get
on
away with
a
that here.
team that doesn't win? And when you win, you have more opportunities. You become like a legend. Look at Jack Hughes in the Olympics. He's playing for the New Jersey Devils. You've got guys in the NHL that are playing on teams that lose all the time, that only make it to the first round of the playoffs. They were clamoring for this opportunity. They are now legends. Austin Matthews, the captain of the U.S. hockey team, he plays for the Toronto Maple Leafs.
He's one of the best
Toronto
players
is a
in the
tough
NHL.
city to play hockey
Right.
in,
Right.
and he's been dragged through the mud because they haven't won and they haven't even come close to, a conference finals or the Stanley Cup finals. And here he is now, beloved because he won the gold medal.
Yeah, but he has to go back to Canada to play his NHL season. They're not going to be too happy with him up there.
Right. But I would think that some fans, I don't know because my team won, quite frankly, but I would think that some fans, and I'm not from Canada where you only really have like 2 or 3 sports that people play up there. I would think that
Yeah, but hockey's their sport. This is what is important to them.
but if my favorite, if Jalen Brunson were from Canada and went and Canada won the gold, I'd probably still be rooting for. I'd be rooting for the U.S., but I might like if Canada won, I would be like, good for Jalen Brunson. I guess I don't know. It's tough. It's complicated. But one of the things that I was gonna say about Karl Anthony Towns, because it happened yesterday late in the game. He took a shot, a 3-point shot from the top of the key, and he made it. And of course, once he makes it, then he thinks he can continue to shoot that. So then he comes
Yeah.
down the next time. There's probably like 2 seconds off the shot clock on their possession, and he chucks up a 3 from even further back behind the 3-point line. And it's just one of those things, like, I'm like, oh, here he goes. He's going to make one, and now he's going to think that he can continue to chuck them up because he made one. And it's almost like it messes everything up. It's like, yes, I love, he made a 3 that put the Knicks up, I think 5 at the time towards the end of that game. And I'm not going to say I don't want him to make 3s, but when he does make 3s, it all of a sudden makes him like think that he is a 3-point shooter
Like he's Steph
exclusively.
Curry.
Yes.
And he stops and celebrates every time he makes a 3 instead of getting back on defense.
So
Hey, Shaq and Charles Barkley, 2 Hall of Fame players. Shaq has 4 rings. These guys know what they're talking about. And these players, when those kind of men tell you what to do, you should listen.
well, we'll see how they respond. They did end up winning the last 2 games. They play Tuesday at Cleveland, then Friday at Milwaukee, and then Sunday will be a big matchup at home versus San Antonio. So they beat San Antonio in the NBA Cup. San Antonio is a very good team, one of the best teams in the West. and they have Wemby, and he's healthier than he was when they were playing against them in the NBA Cup. So this is, we'll see what happens here, because he's a tough
Those some
matchup for anyone, let
those
alone
some
a center who doesn't play defense.
those are some tough games this week.
Yes. All right, so let's talk UNC, because UNC has had some tough games the past couple weeks. Obviously, Caleb Wilson has been out with a broken, what is it, a broken hand?
Hand, wrist,
Bone in
whatever.
his hand or
Yeah,
wrist.
his hand.
He's their best player. Henry Visser was out for 2 games because of a lower body injury. He's now back. But the Carolina has struggled without Caleb Wilson in the lineup. They managed to win against Syracuse the other day. Syracuse is not that good this year. But it's been, you don't know what you're going to get right now without Caleb Wilson in the lineup.
Well, some other guys have stepped up and played well. Zayden High, who wasn't playing at all, for a guy that sat on the bench all year, pretty much, he's played well. He's 6'11". He's aggressive. He's not Caleb Wilson, but hey, you got to overcome these injuries. You got to do what you got to do. Tonight they play Louisville, real tough team. The next 3 games they have at home. Then they go on the road in 2 weeks to go play Duke.
So it's you hope that Caleb Wilson gets healthy. You hope that Visser, whatever injury he had, doesn't bother him for the rest of the season. Hey, listen, college basketball is tough, and with any of these sports, there's certainly a lot of skill, and you need a good team, you need a good roster, but you also need good luck. And if you can go throughout a season without any major injuries to your best players, you usually have a chance to go pretty far. If your best player is out with a broken hand, it does make it a bit difficult. And we saw that against NC State. They don't really have anyone that can take control of the game, can take a defender off the dribble when needed, especially when a team is playing some really tight defense. A guy like Caleb Wilson not only scores, but he distracts the defenders, and it results in other guys getting open.
Yeah. That's why chemistry is so important. It's a team. It's not just one player. But when you have the star player or 2, it opens things up for other people. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. So, we'll take it game by game. I think they're learning a lot about themselves as a team, as individuals. And we'll see if they can continue to have some success here before they go to Durham at the end of the regular season.
Right. Last game, it'll be senior day in Duke, and they played a tremendous game against Michigan.
Do they even have seniors? Like, who are we even talking about? Who has seniors anymore? Like, what is senior day really?
It's some of the walk-ons.
Yeah,
Usually seniors.
like the team managers.
And the team manager, the walk-ons, and the guys that get the 4.0 GPAs to bring the whole GPA up of the team. There's a few guys like that on every team,
Of course.
They put a few guys on there, the bookworms, to get the GPA of the team up. That's what's so messed up now. You used to, Patrick Ewing played 4 years in college. Tim Duncan played 4. All the great players played 4 years. Jordan played 3, okay? But everybody played 4. Now, these guys 1 year, some of these guys are on 4 different teams, 5 different teams. They change their teams every year. This isn't good. And I speak to enough people that are big fans of some of these teams. They're not happy with the way this is. You don't even get to know these guys.
It's not ideal, but guess what? I'm really excited for the next big sporting event here in the States, and that is March Madness. So
it'll be good.
College sports is what it is right now, but that's what I need. I need, everyone, if you saw any of the highlights, like, people were at the bar at like 7 a.m. on Sunday. Like, my local bar was giving out free bagels. I watched the game from my couch in pajamas, but there were these bars in New York City were packed. The bars in Massachusetts, Minnesota, all of these different places where hockey is big. And then the common folk, the people who aren't necessarily hockey fans, they wake up an hour or so later than the East Coast, and then they're into the game in the second period, and then the third period comes and everyone's into the game. By overtime, you have the whole country watching. So I'm excited for March Madness because I need that camaraderie. We're not all going to be rooting for the same team, but there is nothing better than that first weekend of March Madness. Like I can hear with my windows open, I can hear when a good thing happens for a team because you hear people screaming from the streets. And there's a bar a few blocks away from my apartment, so when it's really going, I can hear it. So that's what I'm looking forward to is like another sporting event. I need it. I need it. Okay.
Well, you're going to get that. And then when the World Cup starts and you're going to get it again, there's going to be people. And this is what sports brings. Even if people are rooting for different teams, there's nothing like it. And when you go to a stadium or an arena and you're rooting college football, it's like there's nothing like it. And this was just an example because this was spread out through the whole country and everybody was focused on one game.
So let's talk, let's do a little bit of rapid fire here.
Go ahead.
If you had to participate in one Winter Olympic sport, what sport would it be?
A Winter Olympic sport?
Yes.
Curling.
I was going to ask and why, but I think I know why. Limited physical
What would I really
exertion.
like to do?
Yes.
I'd love to be able to do bobsled.
Oh.
Or luge.
Do you think you have the speed to get off the block and into the bobsled?
What, the two-man bobsled?
Yes, any bobsled.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of those athletes are former college track athletes because they have like sprinters because they have a lot of power and they have a lot of foot speed and you need to be able to push off the block like you're pushing out of like on a starting line on a track.
If I got in shape, worked out for a few weeks, I could do that.
Should
Not
we
a two-man
try and get
bobsled.
you in shape so that you can be in the Senior Olympics?
Oh, they don't have bobsled. A four-man bobsled.
What,
This
so
way,
you don't have
I
to do as much?
I don't have to do as much work.
And you also have to hop into it. Do you think you can hop into it?
If I got in shape for a few weeks, I could do that.
Okay. All right. Well, stay tuned. Maybe the Senior Olympics of 2030.
Okay.
All right. So, next question. What are your thoughts on the Yankees in the first week of spring training games?
So far, they've played in their first game. Aaron Judge hit 2 home runs. He didn't even wake up. He's in mid-season form already. These games don't really mean anything. They've been pitching some young pitchers that have looked really good. These are guys that you'll see later in the middle of the season. Hopefully not before that. But they have a lot of pitching prospects, real good, that are close to Major League ready. I mean, guys like Schlitter, guys that throw 100.
Right. So
103, 102.
who was your favorite basketball player growing up, professional basketball player?
Probably Walt Frazier.
Walt Frazier. If he was playing for Team USA, if he was playing for Team Canada, and
What sport? We're talking about basketball?
yeah, and he was Canadian, but he was playing for the Knicks. You grew up and he was your. Would you be excited if Team Canada ended up winning the gold in the Summer Olympics? If Walt Frazier was on the team, would you be happy for him?
No, I'm an America First guy.
I was wondering because I'm trying to
America
figure out
first guy.
what the Canadians are going to be thinking about the captain of their.
Oh, those Canadians, let me tell you something. They are very patriotic, and everything is about hockey.
Yeah, but if you think about it, so like the starting goalie for U.S. plays for the Winnipeg Jets. He's actually the reigning league MVP. So he is this guy who's keeping the team in it.
He was the MVP last year?
He was best goalie in the league and the best player in the league, and
He won that game yesterday.
exactly. So as a Winnipeg Jets fan, are you going to, and from Winnipeg, are you going to be excited for him? I don't know. But Dad, what are you looking forward to this upcoming week?
More games, Swebb, and it was watching. I like to watch spring training games. They show the tapes at night on the Yes app. I like watching spring. So you see what's coming up. You see, so I can talk about this guy. So when he comes up, somebody comes up in June and starts raking. Hey, I know all about this guy already. I gotta have information at my fingertips, Swebb.
I am not really sure what I'm looking forward to.
Oh, you know what we have this week? We have the NFL Combine for the draft. The draft is the last week of April. So now this is when they take all the top, few hundred players to Indianapolis, and they work them out.
Well, I mean, I'm still trying to figure out who I am without the Olympics.
Oh,
Okay.
and when that's over, NFL free agency will start.
Great. I'm still trying to figure out where I fit in this world without
And
the
I'll
Olympics.
give you one other little nugget. Right after that, they'll have the NFL schedule for next year, where the teams play.
What? So you can decide if the Jets are going to win 4 games or 5?
No, they better win at least 8 games next year. 7 or 8 games minimum. They won 3 this year. They got to win 7 or 8. Oh, and they're going to be playing in Nashville.
We're
next year.
not talking
Tennessee.
about the Jets right now.
If you
I'm
if you
looking
meet
forward
me in
to-
Nashville at the Tennessee Titans, I'll take you to the Grand
I don't
Ole
need to
Opry.
go to the Jets game to go to Nashville. I can just go to Nashville for a weekend without tying it up with a Jets game. If I think about it, I'm looking forward to catching up on some shows that have been on my DVR for a while. We talked about March Madness. Obviously, we're fully into basketball season. I'm going to try and go to a Rangers game in the next couple weeks just for the fun of it, to see a hockey game live. It's been like 2 years since the last NHL game I went to. And I'm going curling in 2 weeks. So I'll report back. Other than that, it's supposed to snow for the next few days. So, you know, it's like, if it's going to snow all week, I would like for the Olympics to have been extended for another week. Like, can we get a few more events going just so I have something else to watch? Like, what is this? But anyways, I digress. That concludes this week's episode of Dad and Swebb Talk Sports. Be sure to follow us at Dad and Swebb on Instagram, X, and TikTok. Just posted a new TikTok tonight. Subscribe on YouTube and Rumble, and share this episode with a friend. We will see you next week.
So long.
Thank you for tuning in to Dad and Swebb Talk Sports, the show where we cover all of our favorite sports moments from the past week. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube and Rumble, and follow us at Dad and Swebb on Instagram and X. See you next week.